Hi everyone, welcome you all. In the today's video, we're going to see how we can set up environment for Cypress. And the process is exactly the same in Windows and Mac. So first let us start with Windows, and after that I'll show you on Mac operating system. So the first thing is we need to download, install Node.js. This is a runtime environment where we can run JavaScript based applications. So normally if we want to run any Java based applications, we need JRE. Similarly, whenever you want to run JavaScript based applications, we need to have a runtime environment which is provided by Node.js. So first we need to download and install Node.js, and then we should also download and install Visual Studio Code, which is basically called as VSCode, which is an editor, very popular editor from Microsoft, where we can write our all JavaScript and Cypress automation scripts. And these two are the mainly we required tools, and then we will see the rest of the steps later. So first let us start with download and install Node.js. It is very simple and straightforward. So first we need to download the Node.js software on Windows. So let's go to Google and type download Node.js, and this will go to their official website. So this is a Node.js official website, and they provided different types of installers. So currently we are working on Windows 11 64-bit. So now we need to download Windows installer MSI file, and my operating system is currently 64-bit. So I'm just clicking on the 64-bit. So which will download software which is around 28 MB size. And once it is downloaded, we will start installing the Node.js software. So let's wait for a few seconds. All right, so once it is downloaded, let's go to the download folder, wherever it is downloaded. I'm just opening and showing folder. So this is my software, Node.js software, which is downloaded, a .msi file. Now let us try to install it. Just double click on this and it will start installing your. Let me just minute, just a second. Okay. So this is my Node.js software. Installation is got started. So click on the next button here, and then accept terms and license agreement. Click on the next. And this is the location where your Node.js will be installed. Now click on the next. And by default, Node.js will come along with the NPS, Node Package Manager. This is the most important component. Later we will use it to download another softwares like Cypress or any other plugins. We need npm, so which will come along with the Node.js. And then just click on the next button, and again click on the next, and then say install. So it is asking, do you want to allow this app to make changes your users? Yes, click on yes, and then proceed further. So it will take few seconds of time to install Node.js, and now installation is successfully completed. So once you click on the finish, your Node.js is successfully done. And once the Node.js is successfully installed, you need to check the path is set properly set in the environment variables or not. So for that, you can just go to settings here, and then go to system, about, and you can just go to advanced system settings and environment variables, and select the path variable, click on edit. So here you are able to see the path. So you don't need to set this path manually. So by default, once you install your software, then automatically this path will be set. So with this, we successfully completed installation of Node.js. And once it is done, let us check it is properly set or not. For that, we need to first open the command prompt. And once you open the command prompt, so here we can execute a command which will say Node.js properly installed or not. So for that, we execute one command called node-version. So when execute this command, which will give you a version of node-version. So currently, this is the latest version I have. Just now I have installed 16.17.0. And along with this node, we will also get npm. So if you want to check the version, you can say npm -version. So this command will give you the current version of npm, which is installed along with the Node.js. And this is the first prerequisite. Okay, so node is installed and npm is also installed along with the node. So with this, the first step is got completed. So these first step is got completed. Download and installation of Node.js is done. So then we need to have one editor where we can write our automation scripts. For that, we need to download and install Visual Studio Code, which is called VSCode. So which we need to download. Now let us do the second step. So we need to download the software. So again, go back to the browser and then search for download VSCode for Windows. So this is the official website, download Visual Studio Code for Mac, Linux, and Windows. Go to this link and multiple installers are available here. So currently we are setting up the environment on Windows. So I'm just clicking on this Windows. Okay, once it is clicked, so it is started downloading VS Code, which is around 78 MB. And once it is downloaded, we will start installing VS Code. It is still downloading. Yeah, so now once it is downloaded, let us go to the folder where it is downloaded. So this is a software executable file you will get. So just double click on it. It will start installing Visual Studio Code. So now I'm trying to install this. So accept this agreement and then click on next. And this is the location where Visual Studio Code is installed. Click on the next. And it is asking for create start menu folder. By default, it will create. If you don't want, you can just select this checkbox. So click on the next. So I'm trying to click on the desktop option also. Just I'm selecting this checkbox, create a desktop icon. And by default, this path, everything will be set. So we don't need to do any manual setup. Click on the next and then click on install. So this will start installing Visual Studio Code, which is VS Code, and which is very popular editor where we can write scripts, JavaScript and Cypress scripts. Yeah, so once successfully installed and the desktop icon is also created, I'm just unchecking this checkbox as a finish. So now you can see the new icon which is created. So when you click on this, which will launch your Visual Studio Code editor. So now this is also done. So the next step is, so we have installed Node.js. Also, we have successfully installed VS Code editor. Now we need to create a new folder for the project and we need to open the folder in the VS Code. Because whatever we do, everything we will set everything we will do in the particular folder. So to create our automation tests, we will create a new folder and that folder we will open in the VS Code. So first of all, let's create a new folder somewhere in your system. So let me just go to C drive and under users in my folder. So here I'm creating a new folder. I'll name it as Cypress Automation. Cypress Automation. So this is the folder which I created. And now this folder I'm going to use to put everything which is related to my project. So next thing is we need to open the folder in our VS Code. So how to open the folder in the VS Code? Just open the VS Code editor. And once you click on it, so this is the first time you can see editor like this. And you can just get started window. You can just close this window, right? So this is your VS Code editor. So in this, we need to open the file, whichever we created. So how to open the file? Just go to the file and open the folder. And where we have created folder, we need to navigate that location. So I have created my folder called Cypress Automation. This is my folder and say select folder. So once we have done this, so we can just trust the others of all files in the present folder Pavan. Yes, I say click on I trust the others. Done. So you can just close get started window. So now we can see this is the empty folder which is just imported or just open in the Visual Studio editor. Okay, this is the first task which we have to do it. So once you open the folder, now we need to start setting up Cypress. So the next step is what? We need to open the command or terminal, then we need to execute certain command. So whenever you work on JavaScript projects, JavaScript based projects, we need package.json file. It is just like a pom.xml file in Maven project. So normally when you're working with a Java projects, we will create a Maven project and we will automatically get pom.xml. All the dependencies we specify in the pom.xml. Similarly, in JavaScript based applications, we already created a project. So only thing is we need to create a package.json file. And in the package.json file, we will have all the library information. So to create your package.json file inside your project, so this is the command we have to execute in the terminal npm -i init. So this command will automatically create a package.json. This is mandatorily required. And once you get a package.json, then we will try to install Cypress, and then all Cypress related packages or libraries will be part of your project. So now let us do this command. So how to run this command and where to run this command. And there are two ways we can do. One is we can directly open the terminal in Visual Studio. You can see there is a terminal window, and directly we can open this terminal in the Visual Studio, and then we can execute those commands. Or else we already created folder here, right? So if I just go to the folder, and here you can open the command prompt, and here you can execute the commands. So wherever you want, you can just do that. So for now, what I'm doing is I'm just going to open the terminal in Visual Studio Code itself. So what I will do is I will just go here, terminal, and I'm opening new terminal. So currently the terminal is open. So what I will do is, let me just increase the font. Yeah. So this is my terminal. So here I can execute all the commands. So currently we are in our project folder, right? So first of all, we need to get a package.json file. So this particular file we will use to perform certain configurations later. So to get this particular file, we have to execute this command on the same project folder. So npm -i init. Let's try to execute this command. npm. So npm module we already installed along with the Node.js in the first step. Same command we are using, npm -i init. npm -i init. This is the command. So once it is executed, which will create package.json file. Okay, so now it is successfully executed, and it is asking for package name actually. So the package name, I'm just giving Cypress automation, and you can give any name to this package. So I'm giving some name to Cypress automation. Then it is asking about the version. So let it be the default version. And then description of the project it is asking. For now, I'm just leaving empty. And then entry point index.js, I'm also leaving this empty. Then test command is also empty. Get repository is also empty. Later we can update these values. I'm empty. And other, you can just say your name, and then license not required. Just make it as empty. And then this is a package.json file code, the body of the script, which is displayed. So is this okay? It is saying, you can simply say yes. So once it is done, so which will create package.json under your project. So if I just go to your project folder, you can see package.json. If I open this package.json, so this is the default content which we have in this package.json. Okay, so later if you want to install any plugins or any dependencies, we will specify them in the package.json. So this is the first step. So we have successfully created package.json file under your project. Now we are ready to install Eclipse. We are ready to install Cyplus. So to install Cypress, just we need to execute a single command, npm install Cyprus -save -dev. So this command we have to just execute. When you install Cypress first time, we have to just execute this command. Okay. Suppose tomorrow, if you move this project to somewhere else, then there is no Cypress there. So then you can just execute npm install Cypress. Only this command is enough. So first time when you're trying to install Cypress, you can just execute this command, npm install Cypress -save and dev. And where we have to execute this on the same command prompt, on the same project folder, we have to execute. Let me clear the screen. And now I'm executing here. So npm install Cypress -save -dev. Press enter. It will start installing Cypress, which will take some time. And after few seconds or minutes, it will complete the installation process. Let's wait for few seconds. Right, so now it is successfully installed. Finally, you got the same command prompt. So now once successfully Cypress is installed, now we need to launch our Cypress application. So to launch our Cypress application, so currently Cypress is already configured with our current project. So now we need to start our Cypress. To start our Cypress, we can execute either npx cypress open command, or we need to go to node module /bin folder. So where you can use Cypress open command. So if I just look at here, once you install Cypress, you will get a new folder here called node modules. All Cypress related libraries will be available under node modules. And if I look at here node modules, here you can see Cypress option. That means Cypress is already configured with this project. So how to launch your Cypress app? So to launch your Cypress application, now we need to execute this command. First, we need to go to node_modules, where we have a special file called .bin. And inside this, we need to execute this command, Cypress open. So let us try to execute. So currently we are in Cypress automation folder. So now we need to go to node modules. And inside the node modules, we need to go to bin folder here, .bin, and here the Cypress command we have to open. So to run this, we have to execute this command. So just copy paste this command. So copy this and then execute here. Okay, so node modules /.bin Cypress open. So Cypress open is a actual command. Okay, so it is getting some error. So let us see. Cannot be loaded because running script is disabled on the system. For more information, see about execution policies and node modules by Cypress. I think the path is not correct. Let me just try to execute in the right path. Okay, so let us use this command. I say Cypress npx Cypress and open. So this is a command which we are going to execute to launch your Cypress application. So npx Cypress open. So I can say npx Cypress open. So this command will launch your Cypress. So once I enter, so this will launch your Cypress. It is saying it looks like this is the first time using Cypress. So 10.7.0 is a current version which we have. So it is trying to open my Cypress and allow the access. Yeah, now we can see there is a new window which is automatically appeared. And here you can see the project name, whatever you have given. And basically, which is providing two types of projects like end-to-end testing and component testing. And end-to-end testing by default, which will support for QA people, we will use end-to-end testing. And component testing is especially recently developed for development, like whatever the unit test cases and integration test cases, the developers can automate those test cases by using component testing. So as a QA, we are going to focus on end-to-end testing. So here, let me select this end-to-end testing. And once you click on this, then which will open and show you some configuration files. And we will try to understand these configuration files later. So cypress.config.js and E2E.js and commands.js. So different files which will automatically create by default. And later we will try to understand about these configuration files and then click on continue. So once you click on the continue, so then it will show you what are all browsers which will currently support. So whatever browsers are currently installed on your system, by default, it will show you. So currently I have Chrome browser, Edge browser, and Electron is a default browser which is supported in Cypress. Now I'm currently selecting my Chrome browser and then start E2E testing in Chrome. When I click on this, and which will open one more window like this. And you can see here, it will show you some options like specs, runs, and settings. So they have provided some sample test cases. If I just go to the specs here and runs, settings, these are the default options which are provided. So when you go to the specs, so you can click on this, which will create, which will show you whatever already specs are available. Spec is nothing but in Cypress terminology, we call every test is a specification file. Okay, so if I just click on this second option we will use to create a new empty specification. But the first option we will use to create, to open the existing sample specification. So when you click on this, which will show you the sample options which are provided by Cypress itself. So when you click on OK, got it. So now you can see these are all some sample specification files they have provided. And basically, these are all different tests. They have already created some sample tests and we got all these tests. So here we are able to create a new test and we are able to run this, and whatever settings we required, we can do all the settings, everything we will able to control here. And if I just go back to your Visual Store Studio, so here, if I open this Cypress folder, you can see a new folder structure like downloads, N2E, E2E, fixtures, support, right? So these are the default folder structure, which is automatically created by the Cypress. So this is a major advantage, right? So the folder structure, the entire framework structure will automatically created by the Cypress. You can see downloads and E2E. Here we will create all the test cases, and any reusable components, we will create them under fixtures. And there is one more support folder. So all some configurations we will keep inside these files, command.js, E2E.js, some default files they have provided along with the node modules. So node modules are having the Cypress related libraries. Okay, once you install Cypress, we automatically get this node modules. So this is the default folder structure. In the next sessions, I will talk about more about these folder structures and so on. So this is a way we can install and set up Cypress environment on Windows. And same steps we will follow on the Mac also. Same, we need to download and install Node.js. Then we need to download and install Visual Studio Code. Then we need to create a new folder for project, and we need to open it in the VSCode. Then we open the command prompt on terminal. Then we execute this command, which will automatically create package.json. And then we need to install Cypress. For that, we need to execute this command, npm install Cypress -- save dev. This will automatically download, install Cypress. And to start Cypress application, every time we have to execute this command, nps Cypress open, and node modules .bin cypress.open will also work. But in 10, we will normally use this command. This is newly introduced. So same steps we will follow in the Mac also to set up the environment. So now I'm going to show you how we can set up the same environment on Mac operating system. All right, so now we are in Mac machine. So first of all, we need to download and install Node.js for Mac. And then we also download VS Code for Mac, and then we will continue the rest of the process. So let us start downloading and install Node.js on Mac OS. So for that, we need to go to the browser and download Node.js for Mac. So again, we need to go to the same website. And here the Mac OS installer is available. So you can just click on it, and which will start downloading a package file, .pkg file. And once it is start downloaded, then we can start installing Node.js on Mac OS. Now you can just right click, open show in Finder. And now you can see here, this is a file which is currently downloaded. So let me start installing Node.js by using these files. You can just right click and then open. And once it's done, so it is start installing Node.js. So this is the default location where the Node.js will be installed, and this is the default location where npm will be installed. So click on this continue, and then click on continue once again, and just agree this option, then click on install. So once you click on install, it is asking for your credentials. So let me pass my credentials and then say install software. And once it is done, so it is started installing Node.js and it is completed. So you can just close it. And you can just move this installer to the bin. You can simply say move to bin. Okay, so with this successfully installed, we successfully installed Node.js on Mac. So then we can check the version and npm and Node.js version. So for that, we need to open the terminal. So let me open my terminal. So this is my terminal. Let me execute the command. So the first command is, we can simply say node --version. So this command will give you which version of node which is currently installed. So we don't need to set paths. So by default, Node.js will set all the paths. So press enter. So this will give you what is the current version of node which is installed. So this is 16.17.0. And then we can check npm version. So you can say npm -- version. So this will show you currently which npm version is got installed. So this is the first step. And once it is done, so then the next step is what we need to download and install Visual Studio Code Editor. So we need an editor. So we need to download VS Code. So download and install Visual Studio Code Editor. So for that, again, go to the browser and download VS Code for Mac. And this is the official website. Just go to their website. And now we need to download Mac installer. So currently, which is supporting 10.11 plus. So you can just click on this Mac installer. And once you click on it, it is started downloading the a zip file which is downloaded currently. So let it complete the download process. Yeah, so once it is downloaded in the form of zip file, so just go to the folder. And this is the zip file currently which is downloaded for VSCode. So just double click on this. And it is extracting the file, and then you will get a small icon like this, Visual Studio Code. And you need to just drag this icon into application. So just I'm dragging this into our applications. So now go to our application. So here you can see Visual Studio Code editor. Let me open this window. Now you can see the application. So if you want to access this very quickly, you can just add this into your dock and then you can launch. So now I'm just clicking on this, which will start opening your Visual Studio Code. So once you open this, which will start your Visual Studio Code editor. So for now, I'm just minimizing it. So we have successfully installed Node.js, and also we successfully installed Visual Studio Code, which is VS Code. So now we need to create a new folder for the project, and that folder we need to open in VS Code. So let us create a new folder. So first of all, I'm going to a folder. So just click on the go and go to particular folder. So I'm going to use as Pavan. This is my folder. And inside this, I'm going to create a new folder for Cypress automation. So click on the new folder. I'll rename it as Cypress automation. Cypress automation. So once you rename it, now we need to open the folder inside the Visual Studio Code editor. So let's go to, let me open another new Finder window. So we already added our Visual Studio Code editor in the applications. So we need to just click on it, Visual Studio, which will launch your Visual Studio. I'm just clicking on it and say open. Yeah, so now it is started opening my Visual Studio application. Just close this window, get started, and this is my application currently launched. So now we need to open the folder wherever we just created. So for that, we need to go to File and say Open Folder, and then browse the folder wherever you created. So currently I created my folder in Pavan Cypress automation. Select this folder and click on Open. Right, so once you selected, just trust these others and click on yes. So now it is imported a new empty folder. So currently we don't have any files in the Cypress automation folder, right? So the next thing is what? We need to create package.json file, and then we will able to install Cypress. So how to create package.json file? That is the next step. So how to create a package.json file? By using the command. So that's the next step. Open CMD or terminal, then execute the below command, npm-init. This will create automatically package.json file. Now, where we have to execute that, we need to open the terminal. You can open external terminal, or we can directly open the terminal which is available in Visual Studio. So go to terminal, new terminal, and here you can see there is a new terminal which is open. So here I'm going to execute that command, npm-i npm-i init. Okay, so npm-i init. So this command will automatically create package.json. So now it is successfully created. And if I look at your Cypress automation folder, you will able to see package.json file. And before that, we need to provide all the information, package name. So here I'm giving Cypress automation, and then enter. Version number, I'm leaving empty. Description, entry point, I'm just leaving default values or empty values. Later we can update these values. Test command, get repository, keywords, and other. I'm giving my name as other. And license, is this okay? Yes. So once you provided this information, then package.json will be created under your project. Now you can see package.json is got created. All right, so this package.json is required to install other libraries like Cypress. So what is the next command is we need to install Cypress now. So to install Cypress, we need to execute this command, npm install Cypress. So this command will install Cypress on that particular folder. npm install Cypress -save -dev. So this command we have to execute on Visual Studio Code Editor. So on the same terminal, let me just clear this. And then execute the same command. Here I'm pasting the same command. Sorry. So here we need to execute npm install Cypress -save -dev. So when you're trying to install Cypress first time, you need to execute this npm install Cypress -save -dev. So this command will able to install Cypress on your current project folder. Press enter. Now it is started installing Cypress on your current project folder. So which will take a few minutes. Let's wait for a few seconds here and then we will check again. So now it is successfully installed Cypress with this particular command. And once it is exited, let's go to the Cypress automation folder. Now we will see node modules. So under node modules, you can see the Cypress. So these are all the node modules by default you will get once you install Cypress. So now we are ready with VSCode and then project, Cypress, everything. So now we need to launch our Cypress application. So to launch your Cypress application, again, we need to execute one command called npx cypress open. So npx cypress open. So this particular command will automatically launch your Cypress application. So when you execute this command, and it is saying it looks like this is the first time you're using Cypress. As soon as you executed this command, you will see the new window like this. And again, it is showing two options, end-to-end testing, component testing. Let us take end-to-end testing. And then it will show you some configuration files by default. And later we will try to understand these configuration files and click on just continue. Then it will show you the current browsers which are already available in your OS. So currently I have Chrome browser on my Mac. Electron is a default browser which is supported in Cypress. Now I'm selecting Chrome by default and say start E2E testing in Chrome. So this is the first time you need to do configuration. And when you click on this first option, which will give you some examples provided by Cypress itself. So when you click on this, which will give you some sample examples, you can say, okay, I got it. So these are the default options and some samples they have given by Cypress. And if you go back and see your VS Code editor, so you can see a new folder. So you can see Cypress, which is created. Inside the Cypress, the default folder structure is automatically created. Downloads, E2E, fixtures, support. So the folder structure is automatically created. And whenever you try to automate a new test, which we are going to create under E2E, end-to-end testing. In the previous versions, older versions of Cypress, it is like integration folder. So where we are creating the test cases, but now it is got changed to E2E, end-to-end testing. So here, some basic examples, they are already given here. So these are basic examples. Some test cases, they are already given here. So we can create our own test cases. In the next session, we will see how we can create our test cases and how we can execute and how we can see the results, all those things. Okay, so this is how we need to set up environment on Mac operating system. So the steps are exactly the same. So whatever you have done on Windows, same steps we repeated on the Mac. Right? We have first download and install Node.js, and then we have to install Visual Studio Code Editor. Then we have created a new folder project and which we open in the VS Code. So in future, whatever tests we are going to create will be part of the same folder. And inside the folder, we have got package.json file by executing this npm init command. Then we have installed Cypress by executing this command. And then we started our Cypress application by executing this command, nps cypress open. And if I just go to their Cypress official website, the same steps they have mentioned. You can just go to cypress.io and go to the docs and getting started. So here you can see how to install the Cypress, they have clearly given all the statements. So we have executed this command, npm install Cypress -- saved. But before that, we need to have a Node.js environment, Node.js npm. Then only we will proceed with this command. Same steps they have provided in their official website. And what are the things which will support currently is Mac OS 10.9 and above is supported, and which will also support Intel or Apple Silicon 64-bit. And before installing, please cross-check these versions, whether supported or not. And which will also support Linux, and Windows 7 and above versions are supported. And this is the installation process they have given. And once the installation is successful, we can open the Cypress application by running this command npx cypress open. Or else we can also run this command from the node modules .bin cypress open command also will work. Okay, so this is the CI tool. This is the launching pad we got. So here we selected end to end. Then we got some sample configuration files, and we selected the browser, and project setup is done. Okay, so this is how we need to set up the project. So I will put all the steps in the description, and you guys can try the same steps on your system. Okay, so that's all for this video, guys. In the next video, we will meet again. So thanks for watching.